underway. We are underway. Here we go. The teams are dropping. 16 of the best teams in the world. And we're live from Las Vegas. World Showdown of Esports for PUBG. And the teams are dropping in. Sims, give me your thoughts. We're seeing these guys drop in here. Where are they going? What are the strategies?
Honestly, I think it's going to be general business as usual. We've seen these guys playing for long enough now that we kind of, generally speaking, get the gist of where people like to land. You know, we've seen PGI, North America, Europe. We're going to have 2 regions here currently in play, so generally speaking, we should at least know where people are going to be going and not changing things up too much. You may have a couple of run-ins in certain areas that are quite close together where teams do generally like to be. I mean, we can currently see all the way across on the West Coast. You might get a bit of run-in early with someone like Ghost or Tempo Storm, for instance. More than likely, you will probably see move a bit more down to the Prim area. FaZe probably will be business as ever. Everyone knows they love Milta Power. Now, the interesting one for me is Vitality. Coming into this event, Vitality is a team that needs to play a different game, I think is the better word to speak. They didn't even qualify for the European regionals, which, coming off of one of the best teams, and I do say that, one of the best teams in Europe, or what was seen as one of the best teams in Europe, they've got to really make a stand for themselves. It's one of those scenarios, Alex, where I kind of say, if you make God bleed, people will kind of cease to believe. They went in for the first major event at IEM
kind
Oakland.
of make a statement, more or less.
Yeah,
what you're saying.
They were IEM Oakland champions. Everyone know them back in the days. They're a team called Evolve, and everyone say, okay, these are boys that have to watch for the future. This is where we could potentially see one of the best up-and-coming teams. AAA bought them out. They went to Oakland. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. They win the event. They take the trophy. It's in the cabinet at home. Job done. They then get picked up by Vitality.
Yep. Things
haven't been great. You still see them up at the top, and there's 4 individual fraggers on there that are incredible players. There is moments of, signs of amazingness, and we still know they can play at high level. But I think if they want to get back to that level where people fear them and kind of strike fear in the hearts of their opponents, then they need to be winning this event and really proving to the rest of Europe and the Western regions that these guys are not to be messed with.
And what an opportunity for Vitality, for all these teams. $100,000 in this weekend event. It's short and sweet. 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, 6 rounds today, 6 rounds tomorrow. Total points at the end wins, and also we got extra points. We got bounties going on. We got points for kills. So we're going to see a lot of action here. Remember, there's also $2,000 for first blood. So I'm wondering who's going to be ambitious enough to go for that. But we're seeing this safe zone kind of top center, Optic in the very middle, which I'm sure they're thrilled about. Meanwhile, FaZe, they're working on Milta, which is kind of something we've seen from FaZe in the past. They're working on Milta, and I don't know. I feel like I'm a little surprised no one's really challenging them. Are you surprised at all that, look, they're at both Milta Power, the main power plant, and FaZe. They're also at the secondary power plant there. So no contention whatsoever. They're spreading out big time. Vitality is a little close, but I don't think there's going to be action there. So why is it only FaZe at Milta?
Generally speaking, there's 2 different kind of sides to this story, right? One, nobody wants to lose a player early because you've only got 4 and you've only got 4 lives. All right, you can get people, once they're knocked, you can pick them back up, fair play to them. But still, every single player counts, and losing 1 player so early on does an immense amount of damage to a roster and really hinders your team moving forward throughout the game. On the opposite side of that coin, on the other side, there's generally quite a lot of respect. People know that. You don't want to poke the bear, because if you poke the bear, he's going to come out with his claws. FaZe are a nasty, nasty little team, and if you want to go have a crack at them, I mean, they'll happily accept the challenge.
Well, now, I mean, in theory, they're going to be juggernauts because, the kind of loot they're getting, I'm sure we'll get a shot of it in a second here, I'm sure they're getting stocked up there. How could you not, having complete control of Milta Power? Now, they are a little bit far away from the safe zone. So that's going to be interesting to watch as this develops here, as FaZe starts making a movement there. They might have to go through Vitality a little bit. Knights are kind of in the area there for FaZe as well. Right now we're getting a shot at Envy. This is Venerated on a motorcycle, just kind of going to the middle of the circle. Not sure what he's up to. He's got a passenger there too, and getting close to an Optic member. So we'll have to see if contact is made there.
This is really nice. So Venerated and his teammate might tell a shot which that one's gonna be. Let me have a look, as it does pop up for a second, and the names will splash a bit. British Caden,
yeah.
The American sniper himself. These 2 are a very, very deadly duo. They're a nasty set of players, probably 2 of the best in in NA, to be honest with you, in NA PUBG right now.
Yep.
They've done the good trap. They've got the bikes. They've gone early. Obviously, for that one, you will sacrifice a little bit of gear. Not too much. I did see level 2s. They were transferring on the bike and rotating around. But you can see there, Tetra's also gone center. This is where you initially say, okay, let's go early. Let's get his foot stamped on this place. Let's get a really decent compound. These compounds on the Roshawk Hill, just above Roshawk, they're really, really good. There's a lot of height on them. There's some level 3 buildings on there. There's plenty of sight to look across and just being able to, you know, if you've got something like even an M16, a Mini, I mean, God forbid, you might have a sniper rifle in there or a really strong DMR like an SLR, then you can really start to take some shots. Moody's already having, you could hear a couple of bullets hitting the ground. That's something you do see quite often. C9 have been struggling with the rotation, and generally speaking, we have seen C9 in many other iterations of competition. They do lose players on rotation, so we'll see how this goes for this one.
Where's he going? Yeah, where's Moody going? I don't know what Moody, he's scouting. He's scouting right now, and he got some shots there from Team Gates, and I'm sure he communicated that to his teammates back behind him who are taking the same path. So Cloud9, maybe they're trying to get a little circle around Team Gates here to make some action happen, but meanwhile, mentioning Envy earlier, I like Venerated and Caden going forward, kind of scouting that area, as you mentioned, trying to secure some high ground and kind of, you know, separating from their other two teammates, but also getting some good scouting. And meanwhile, Totality all over the first crate that dropped, kind of in the middle right-hand section of the circle there. We're seeing Totality right now. So we're starting to feel that pressure. We're starting to see these guys, all these teams make those movements towards this circle. And I don't think we've seen First Blood yet, but I have a feeling we're very soon.
Something just to kind of note here. So Ghost Gaming, Vitality, FaZe. 3 teams that have all won major events. They've all got trophies in the cabinet. None of them have actually moved yet. These teams, they generally will like to play for as long as possible. You can play the first circle. You can take some pain from it. It's not a problem. It'll do a bit of damage, but it's nothing that a couple of bandages and stims won't patch up. It'll be interesting to see where they come in on this circle because it is quite a high-density one. There's a few teams going to be still lurking on the edge. Intrigued to see where Method go because this could cause problems for several teams that are late to the party. The main head of action we potentially could see is on the western edge of this circle. You've got FlyQuest in there. You've got Method. Who has gone ahead now and I believe is the shot caller. So we'll see how this can kind of pans out from him. First contact is made. As soon as I say his name, Curse of the Caster, he's down.
$2,000 for Punich from FlyQuest. It seems like
he runs him over.
And he gets a vehicle kill on top of it. So that's some style right there.
I think the first blood is over the course of the 12 games. They have to build this one up.
So now I see what you're saying.
He's actually
got
1 point in the bag.
Well, hey, that's a start.
It's a start.
Now, I'm not sure he's going to go look for action at the start of every single round to try to really cement that. It's just kind of a supplemental thing that these players need to keep in mind. All those bounties going on during this event. But we have a lot of fire being exchanged actually in the middle of the circle as all these guys trying to find space. Cloud9 in particular, they went straight to the center and they're kind of splitting Optic up. But let's see what happens here. We got at least 3 or 4 teams in range of each other. Not only that, these guys are hearing each other make these shots. So at this point, the blue zone is coming in. And we're going to start seeing a lot of firefighting, I believe, and especially it looks like NRG Totality going at it right now. Some shots being exchanged at the same time. It looks like the Knights are probably hearing that and actually heading in that direction a little bit. That text is from the Knights going in that direction. But Optic, as you
look at how
in the middle of 3 of these teams here.
It's a good play because you're essentially not only just kind of spreading yourself out, so as a few of you die, you've still got others left. But more importantly, you're denying other teams access into those buildings. You're denying them prime location, territory. When they come in, they're going to be out in the open. As you can see, exactly what's happening now with Texas. They're just going to have to drive on up and get the hell out of there and try and find somewhere else. Because again, with these central circles where there's barely any water in play, everyone likes to dip dive into the center. I mean, even this POV we're watching now from the heads up on the camera, so many players in such a small area that territory is going to get really, really tight very, very soon. Space Station Gaming now making their way into the circle. FaZe, they're doing the same. Potentially, FaZe, you might see take the coastal road. We've seen that a few times before where they will go all the way up east and maybe skirt in and coming around just above Yasnaya. Ghost are doing the same. So are Method. They're all making their way through South George, across the bridge onto North George.
Yep.
Praise the Lord that we don't have WTSG there. Otherwise, they'll be saying something different about that one. Vitality will be following FaZe. They're a couple of meters away from the circle. They've made their way now.
Yeah.
And we don't have someone like Rogue, for instance, who like to loot Sosnovka. I don't actually think we have a team here which loot sods North. So we'll see how that kind of plays out down the line. The team start to do a little bit poorly earlier on. Think, okay, well, you know what? Millie base is free. Let's jump there. It's open territory. But you don't have a team like Rogue, you know, are a very strong European team, and always go there. But again, on the opposing side, we saw with Rogue sometimes they got bridge camped. It's a high risk, high reward. You go there, you're going to get geared every single time. There's a lot of big gear on there. You can get sniper rifles and all sorts of stuff. And again, it's such a large area that you're on your own.
Yeah.
But no one's going to be on it for this game. Number one, I think we've lost 2 players already. So, still, everything to play for. The next circle could decide if a few people drop off the map.
Yeah, some interesting movements here with FaZe, Method, and Ghost kind of coming on the right-hand side of the circle and the left-hand side. And I feel like we're about to see a pretty good altercation between Method and Ghost in the top left of our safe zone. As Method, they kind of got out in front. We're getting a shot at Muldman right now, taking some shots at McCoy on that motorcycle. He's trying to jet out of there. But certainly, there's going to be a battle for space here because the blue zone is coming in, and there's not a lot of space. So Ghost, Method, it's pretty much a firefight here for this top left area of this zone. You got to wonder, are they going to kind of go their own ways and kind of leave themselves space or really take a fight?
So it's a really nice play because you got to remember they're already down 1 player. They lost 80 straight off the back. He was the first one to fall, which is rather unfortunate. So what they're going to do is here, they'll put a bit of scare tactic on Ghost. They'll make them pause for a second and maybe try and get ahead of the game. They don't want to take this fight. I mean, you never know. Andy might want to get stuck in. Fair play to him if he does. But they are in a 3 versus 4 against a set of LAN champions. Ghost is a nasty, nasty roster. You got to be careful. They're going to be knowing what they're going up against, so you got to be on your toes here. Knights still struggling to find themselves on this map as the circle does update and it goes even more central on the map. So we'll have Roz, we'll have School, and look at everyone. The rotations are going to come in thick and fast. Everybody on the toes.
Yeah, and it feels like so many vehicles in play right now. As we see, what just happened? Is that a friendly fire vehicle?
Cam might have rolled into him accidentally. So.
I mean, that's happened to the best of us. Cloud9 trying to get towards the center of that safe
everyone
zone.
in a roll.
Team Gates is right there. Optic is right next to him. I'm sure they see each other at this moment in time. Meanwhile, as you can see in the top left there, Method and Ghost still going at it. Some shots being exchanged, but no loss in life just yet.
That was another M24 kicking off in the background. I also saw Andy with one on his hand, so Method with 2 M24s potentially. We'll see if we can get a confirmation on that later on. Kramer onto Wookie. Unfortunately, Wookie is down and he is dead. Dignitas lose one straight off the bat like that.
Kramer.
How many points were we? We have 7 points a kill,
just like that. That's huge for the Knights as we hear another plane. Another crate going to be dropping here. Let's see where this ends up. FaZe a little bit of trouble here. That's Jempty caught in the middle of a couple teams here.
Oh no, he can't even lay out of this one.
That's not a great spot at all. His team's going to come by and try to help him out. That's Totality taking all those shots. Totality, can they take out FaZe? Trying to make it happen. Look at Purdy taking out Jempty just like that. And Totality, they're going to be feeling great about that. And FaZe falling, losing 1 member here as the rest of the team comes back and supports. But a little bit of a mistake there from Jempty, maybe overextending himself, not realizing Totality was there, and FaZe 1 down.
So there's 2 sides to that coin. Jempty's usually the scout who does go out. He does do that. He is the solo who will drive off on the bike and find himself some prime territory. All right, they've lost one of their biggest fraggers. Jempty is an unbelievably talented individual. He is just a monster when it comes to gun skill. But you'd rather have 1 player die than the entire of the team. I mean, you looked at, fair enough, all right, it was the MK.
Get a little bit of intel.
It also gives you the information that now Totality have picked up a crate. The MK is obviously the crate gun. You can, if you really want, to put a red dot sight on that and turn it into fully automatic. It's a deadly, deadly weapon because the power of it is ridiculous. Envy still looking around. In fact, no, I'm lying top end of Roz. They've got the teammates in there. They know they're clear, so they're going to take this far side.
Yep.
On the opposing side of the road, it's a nice little place to go. You got to be careful of the hill. Maybe
the battle over Roz between Optic and Envy. Who would have thought?
I wonder if they're going to take the water tower, but they're not. They're just going to chill as a fall. I'm happy with it. So let's have a look at this. We're on this screen now. Nice observation here. So we got Team Gates, we got C9, we got Optic, we got Alliance just lurking on the edge of Watertown. We got Envious in there as well. Nobody in school, nobody in apartments. Vitality lurking on the edge of the crossroads. NRG and then FaZe on the outskirts. Around with Totality as well. So FaZe need to be careful they don't get ripped by the MK14. Crates dropped in. And we have your big badass gun is in play.
Who's
AWM.
Gonna get that? Who's going to get it?
Doesn't have a scope though, so hopefully one of the players who picks it up does have a scope at least.
Right between Gates and C9. And you got to think they saw that fall.
That's a big bag of bait, is that?
You got to think they saw it fall. We'll see who goes after that. Obviously, they don't know what's in it. I feel like they should know that it's there. So that's going to be interesting to see how that develops. And maybe someone's going to drive by on that road and just pick it up. We'll keep an eye on that, but now we're looking at FlyQuest here. Currently, they're in the bottom left area of that zone, and they're dealing with Ghost a little bit. Ghost having so much trouble just getting into the safe zone.
That's a really, really good shot. He's got the knock. Can he get the finish here?
Ghost trying to top left, ran into Method, and then the zone just ran away from him. And now they're coming back down to the bottom, but FlyQuest is there guarding the edge of that safe zone. So Ghost having a lot of trouble just finding some ground. And some great shots here. Those seem to be right on target from Punij, and he got it. Turtle from Ghost down. Great shots there from Punij. Meanwhile, Purdy from Totality getting another kill somewhere else, taking out Texas from Knights, just like that.
The MK is a nasty, nasty weapon. I've never been a big fan of it, to be honest with you, but certainly it does the damage, and that's 2 now he's got with that thing. So people have to be careful and that they'll be aware at least that the big boy gun is in play. It's not quite the AWM, but still it comes under the DMR mark. It's going to be 61 damage minimum. Adam getting away with his life as McCoy does lay down the automatic fire, tags him up at least 40% HP. Balok just chilling. They've all been tagged up a little bit more than likely from the blue rotating on this one. Profi last one to come in. Ghost obviously losing one earlier on. Circle still closing in on Rozhok.
So we see NRG kind of trying to get themselves in a nice position. It looks like Nerf from NRG is like, all right, guys, the school is, no one's here. Let's come hang out at the school and loot.
Second player from Ghost down. I think that's going to be Profi out. Does he have a chance?
Oh, was he just taken out there?
Yeah, he was knocked.
From FlyQuest?
Was he knocked outside the blue, though? That's the bigger question. I did see him outside of the blue, was rotating in, so he's been knocked on rotation, whether or not his teammates can get him up or not. School will see you get locked down at least by NRG, so they've got to, this is the kind of thing, you got these big areas.
FaZe, a little bit of a firefight here.
They're having late to the party here.
Jempty gone. And there's a lot of movement trying to happen here as we're seeing Fuzzface, he kind of just knocked himself out there. Optic and Cloud9 both sandwiching FaZe, taking them out.
16 plays.
And just like that, FaZe is out. No, actually, one more for FaZe.
No, they're gone.
No, they're gone. Yeah, they're gone. Are you surprised?
I am.
I am too. They just couldn't find. They couldn't find a spot, and they just ended up right in between. Meanwhile, Shiv from Vitality, look at that. We're wondering, okay, who's gonna drop on that crate? That's exactly what you want. So there's a nice little AWM.
Revolution is here, boys and girls.
Let's see what he can do with that. He's telling his Vitality friends what he just found.
I mean, this is, it doesn't get much bigger than an AWM. It's the only. Oh, wait a minute. Look at Dignitas. 1, 2, 3, 4 gone. Dead and buried earlier on. We saw, I think it was Wookie Bookie initially go down. So another big team. Dignitas, 15th place. This is wild. Now, this is going to be Profi's second knock as well, so he's bleeding out. He's going to bleed out quite fast.
Goes down to 1.
But look at this.
He's gone. There's no chance. Yeah.
He's pinched between 2 teams.
Balok is ditching him, and I agree. Sometimes you just got to be like, you know what? You got in a bad spot. I can't help you. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to get some points for our team. So Balok on his own. And we've seen, in PUBG, we've seen solo plays. So never count any of these guys out, even if it's just one left. But Ghost, pretty... not a great start for them. A little bit better of a start for them than for FaZe, obviously. NRG, though, taking control of that school, I think that's a great move for them. I'm still very surprised they're able to do that, considering it's so close to the center of that zone. But pretty interesting action so far.
I'm going to go off a complete tangent here, and this is really random, but it's just hit me in the head.
I'm ready.
For the bounties, we've actually got vehicle kills and first blood. I actually think it was the same dude that run him over for the first blood as well. So maybe he gets a tick in both boxes.
So is that vehicle kills where you use a vehicle to
kill somebody?
Okay.
And it's very rare you get it, and he run him over. So does that mean he gets both, a tick in the first blood and a tick in the vehicle kill?
Hey, maybe. Well, we'll confirm with our expert administrators.
So he could be on the road for getting 4K out of just that initial kill. That's pretty.
That's a great start. Certainly had that in mind. We actually saw a ton of teams just jump in vehicles and just, that's a pretty standard element of PUBG, especially in the early stages. But hey, maybe that's on their mind too. Get a few of those kills. Looks like we got Dave standing by with FaZe. We want to know what's going on because FaZe is knocked out of round 1. Dave, what do you got?
All right, we're here. I'm trying to be a little quiet. I'm with FaZe. They just got eliminated. What went wrong that game, sir?
We scouted a little bit, like we saw all the compounds. We thought we would be free going to the Rozhok since we saw so many players like around us. We misjudged that, so it wasn't free.
All right. Well, better luck next time. We're going to go back.
All right. Great to hear from him. And just, it happens. Unfortunate situation there for FaZe. Wrong place, wrong time. Couldn't really find a place to bunker down. And that's one of the important elements in PUBG as we see NRG's got the school handled. Roz, again, split between Envy and Optic. They're kind of relaxing in the center, maybe not wanting to engage as much.
Now, this would be an interesting fight. Look at how tanked up Method are. That's because they've arrived late from the blue, so they're going to be all kinds of damage here. But the Ag being gatekeeps currently by Tempo Storm.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the kill feed Monkey, he goes down. That's going to be SSG Gaming. They're taking out one from the Vitality boys.
Yeah.
Some of the French, one of the beasts as well of the French. Monkey is an insane fragger. FlyQuest turning up to the party. Welcome, boys.
Hey,
Envious.
good to see you.
Opens
This is
the
my
door.
hill. You are not welcome here. Please go away.
Lost his helmet, which is a little bit unfortunate, but nevertheless, they got the kill. And they're getting tagged up from Optic across. This is quite funny. Optic have seen that they've kind of moved away, so to speak, away. We actually saw before we nipped into Dave, the AWM had just dropped in, which I think Valiant may have picked up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
VZ goes down. He's dead from Alliance. So Alliance lose their first player. Still 14 teams here. Alex, 49 alive, and the circle is only getting smaller.
And honestly, you know, NRG, I just to really just highlight what's going on with NRG, they're getting kills everywhere right now. You're seeing it constantly there. From the school, they had this great position in the school. They're getting some great shots right now. We're looking at Envy here. That's Jesse LOL taking a look at FlyQuest in the distance and Knights. And you got to think Optic is around as well. There you see him on the right-hand side. So got to be careful to make sure you stay out of the zone of Optic. But I like the suppressive fire onto this group over here.
So currently here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams all on this battle for Roz. You've got Optic outside the safe zone. You've got Envy who are in.
Not a lot
You've
of
got
space.
C9 who are in.
Yep.
Knights are in so much danger. But then again, so is FlyQuest. They're all being gatekeeped and held back.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Optic, they're doing damage to them. So the people who are coming on the back lines, they're taking out one by one slowly and picking up these points.
Yeah, lots of movement happening right now, trying to get towards this zone as the blue is coming in. Vitality taking, or Shift taking out Hwyn from the space station. Looks like a member from FlyQuest down, Tempo Storm down, but again, those are knockouts, so we'll have to see if they can get picked back up. There's a grenade heading into a very close range of Microstar from FlyQuest. He's going to turn and try to shoot back at Krama. That's from the Knights, but firefighting happening everywhere in Roz. Envy just barely inside the circle there on the south side of Roz. Optic pretty close to them as well, a little bit to the east, a little bit north. Cloud9, as you mentioned, also in the area as well, as we see Tempo Storm, sharp shot, taking out Method. We were watching that battle earlier, and that's just a conclusion of a very long siege that Method
I think this
is
Andy
Mercy
is the last person alive. Now, this was a bit of a gatekeep coming out of Tempo, coming out of, I think it was Tempo Storm.
Tempo Storm,
was it? Yeah,
looking out for Method coming in the circle.
So they're holding him back still in the circle. Andy, the last one alive. He doesn't really have much way to get rid or get out of that area, so to speak, because there's nowhere else to go. I mean, he could try and run out into the open, but Tempo probably just batter him doing so. He does have an M24, so whether he can get a knock, take that initial player out, make them focus on something else, and then run and then try and stay alive. We'll keep an eye on the kill feed. That will tell the story soon.
Yep.
Microstar's probably just going to slow ball this one in, try and get the players below him. Sharp shot comes in again. Andy Pyro dead and gone. Method, they're out in 14th.
Yeah, Tempo Storm doing a great job zoning in on Method there. As we see kind of a team play between Envy and Optic, just watching the end of that circle, watching anyone coming in, and we're just seeing mayhem everywhere. Knights falling every which direction. Microstar from FlyQuest, he's going to be finished off, and Krama down as well.
Falling.
So Knights caught in a very awkward spot there in Roz, trying to get in the circle, where Envy and Optic were gatekeeping on that side. So unfortunate position there for Knights. And now we are down to 11 teams.
A third-party system of 3 teams, and all of a sudden, you just saw these boys,
They're
Alliance.
just looking. They're like, okay.
75% UK just rocks up. Third parties it, 1, 2, 3. We've got Optic, we've got Envy, we've got C9. You've got all these big names just border patrolling, so to speak. Rawshawk. 2 teams tried to come in. Unfortunately, FlyQuest and the Knights, they fell victim to that one. 11 teams still remain in the circle. She does go more towards the school side, so the apartments are in. You've got NRG lurking in there. SSG are on the front side of the apartments. They want to make sure they're not on the back side. Generally speaking, if you're going to be a betting man, you want to say, okay, it's going to shrink towards the middle, so they'll take the front edge of those apartments. TG are moving in. Vitality have only got a very small compound, though. But still, it will be this big fight over here on the edge of the circle.
It's almost like Cloud9. It's almost like Cloud9 and Alliance could try to sandwich Optic and Envy. Like Optic and Envy, they have to travel a little bit further, just a little bit further to get to that circle. So if I'm Alliance, if I'm Cloud9, almost make a beeline to that zone, then look back at Optic, look back at Envy, and try to maybe even double team, take him out. So we'll keep an eye on that. A lot of action happening in the top left side of that zone. Again, that blue is going to start coming in here very soon, and Optic, Envy, Cloud9, Alliance might all have to converge and really battle for the top left side of the zone as we're seeing the firefights happen.
If you just hit, look, I mean, this is teamwork at its finest. One knocks down the door, the other one just throws the grenade in there. still in the kill feed. Finally, TG have actually had a player knock. That'll be their first initial loss. SSG hanging outside the apartments. Can anti. That's a headshot. So a nice little shot there straight across. Not too fast. It should be an easy one. Hypoc with the look at them. They're just trying to
look how close they are.
Smash out Envious.
They're
the grenades have gone
neighbors.
down already, but I mean the smoke's there. What can they do?
Yeah.
Envy and Optic are literally boxed in by C9 and Alliance.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see if they can figure it out. It might just come down to pure aggression, pure shots. Hector taken out. Jesse LOL knocking him down. Lots of firefights happening. Tempo Storm and Envy on the bad side of this. Look at Optic. That's Hetroar taking out Venerated and Kaden. And Jesse, is that 3 down from Hetroar? What an amazing play from him as Optic making their presence known, really trying to get towards that circle and not leaving anything in their path.
But look at this. C9 have heard all these shots. They know what's going down. They know they get involved now. So while Optic's trying to get out of this fight, okay, they've won one battle, but now they've got to fight a second one. And this is what happens when you get gatekeeped and get locked in such a... I mean, it's a rough position because of the circle. They couldn't go anywhere. I don't blame them for this one. There's nothing they could have done about it. They're making the best of a bad situation. But they've now got to fight C9. They've also got to find this final player from Envious to at least give the backlines the cover. This should be an easy kill.
I'm a little bit surprised Alliance kind of ran away from all this, but also not surprised at the same time as, we see the last member of Envy taken out. They're knocked out in 11th place in this first round, again, of 12 total over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, as we see Cloud9 doing a great job there, just playing position and kind of being really patient.
So one team that I actually like, have made a beautiful rotation. This is going to be Alliance. They've come from Water Tower, just made it down the hill. How the hell they've managed to do it alive and NRG hasn't pip shots at them? And what do you know? As soon as I say that,
there it is.
Comes in, Sigs it, unfortunately.
NRG, man, they're locking down this school, and I guess they didn't see Alliance come in, but now they definitely know that they're there. If they knew this pickup was happening, I'm sure they would run in there, but of course, they're trying to stay cautious, stay safe. NRG just having an incredible round thus far, locking down the school and just using it as a fortress, and that's exactly where the zone is going. As it gets smaller and smaller, we have 10 teams alive.
I like this. Rather than sit back and just kind of rest on your laurels, so to speak, they want to get involved in this. They know Alliance are literally, they have a wall and nothing else. Pentalaw's going to get up close and personal. You got K-Mind on the back as the cover of the tree. In fact, they're going to back off from this one. I like the aggression, get stuck in a little bit. They spray down through the smoke. They knocked one.
Because they have to get to the zone, you know, so it's like at some point.
They could just move to the front of it in their defense. Right, like you say, you do have Alliance who are currently kind of in a bit of a bottleneck, to be honest. Look at Moody. On the top end of the circle, by the way, Moody may potentially just ruin Optic here. He's going to come up the edge.
As we're seeing, Cloud9 trying to make those movements, but falling mercy to everyone else in the zone, as we also see Shiv from Vitality getting a knockdown as well. And Cloud9, they're a little bit of trouble here. Hetroar able to get a nice knockdown. Actually a kill on the Moody there. Win with a knockdown on Rayum. Meanwhile, Smurf there, you see a knockdown on RX from Vitality. What? So there is action absolutely everywhere here.
Wait.
As we're just trying to keep up.
C9's dead? They were all alive.
They just made a move into the try to make a big move into the circle, and then we had, I think, 1 or 2 go up to try to say hi to Optic, but just like that, knocked out. So Cloud9
way too long there,
and I think it was too big of a move too with such a small zone. You know, maybe be a little bit more cautious with it, but you know, maybe a little antsy to get into the zone and play a little quicker, and they fell mercy to that.
The big question is how do Vitality get to the circle? As soon as they come out the hook, they have absolutely jack cover. There's nothing. All right, they've got the AWM in there, and you've heard that constantly in the background. Monkey just peeling faces, but they're going to have to make a run for it. They're going to have to smoke up and pray to the gods no one sees them.
Yeah.
And here comes the run for Vitality. The initial shots come through, and there you go. It's just
there's no
firing squad.
Everyone's looking at him, too. At least 3 different teams, I want to say, are actually maybe even 4 different teams are zoned in on Vitality as they're trying to get into the zone. Vitality trying to return that fire. Hetra taking those shots. Look, it's just smoke. They're trying to just stay alive in the smoke. I guess that's the best thing you can do.
Just tagged him through.
Yeah, just take shots at the smoke. Why not? But as he does that, revealing his position to NRG, and look at that Optic taken down by NRG. NRG in that school there, just taking down everyone. I'm wondering how many frags there. It's got to be a ton at this point. NRG just having a field day in this round number 1. But once again, still 8 teams around as the blue zone is coming in, and we're about to see the new location. It's going to be just square in the center here, where most people start their PUBG games. That's where we're ending here in the first round at the World's at this tournament here in Vegas.
8 kills in the back for NRG. They're having a field day, as you mentioned. They can also use the backside. The auditorium, I want to say it kind of is, on the edge of school. They can look outside. They've got the angle outside the windows if they want to move up. You've still got Alliance. Cling on for dear dear life on the edge of this wall. TG's directly in front of them. NRG really can't do too much. I mean, you'd expect the grenades to kind of roll a bit too far, although there is a 3.5 meter death box on those nades. We got a couple of patches ago where the nades just became absolutely ridiculous. Now, Ghost, actually, in totality, I thought I forgot they were completely still alive. To
yeah, Totality and Ghost bottom right. They're kind of taking control of the apartments. They were next to each other for a while, but finally, as they're approaching this next zone, converging, these teams trying to move as fast as possible as this zone moves in, trying to get those good locations. But we're also seeing Tempo Storm here fall mercy to Space Station. A little bit of altercations there, and we're getting crunched in there. So we got 3 teams kind of in the bottom right, 3 teams kind of in the bottom left, 6 teams overall, so kind of a split situation here, left and right.
Nice position from McCoy. Generally speaking, we've seen McCoy in so many situations where he's just kind of lasted it out and survived. His survivability is unreal. He actually might get helped out here by Space Station Gaming if Totality want to try and make a run for it. They're not inside the circle, whereas McCoy actually is, so if SSG takes shots off Totality...
There's still a little time,
actually, NRG are also third party, and NRG are taken down. So that's going to be a headshot through the window of the school side.
That's a great shot.
Oh, look at this push.
That's a great
TG,
shot.
they're going in for it. 3 players all lined up.
Oh, Alliance still right there. Look at this. Xgo trying to make it happen. He had position. He had the element of surprise, but Alliance a little bit too quick in their reaction, returning that fire. But he's still alive there. So, actually, he was knocked down. So we'll have to see if he can get rescued. Meanwhile, we have Mayhem everywhere. Mortified with the grenade onto Alliance, and that's exactly what you're looking for. Team Gates able to take down Alliance just like that. Meanwhile, NRG also helping out with that.
Siggy's still up, actually.
Oh.
And Reels is bleeding out, so he might actually be able to get to him.
He's got he's got 2 teams looking at him, too. I thought it was over right there.
Yeah, I think everyone did.
Okay. Can they somehow pull out a miracle?
He's going for it, the lad. So
There's got to be eyes on
the initial tap. Everything's going to calm down for a second.
10 seconds. 10 seconds before the...
We'll see where the new zone goes, and nobody's inside it. So we're going to be on the open road, very open area, nothing to kind of... It will be who's the last one kind of to come out of their little hut, so to speak. Everyone who has to move first. This next circle is going to do so much damage. It will literally force this engagement. But it's who has the better line of sight for me at the moment.
Whew, no
NRG win this. They're going to have to move. They're on the slower side of the circle. If you look at the map,
they can just stay on the edge of that school.
They can wait until the very last moment to jump. They can shoot people as they jump and then jump last. But they need to make sure that they don't get too fixated on one team, because they start to look at another one.
Alliance is still there. You know,
exactly. They've got PG and Alliance. If they start focusing on them,
Yep.
SSG might get an opportunity to move up and get ahead of the game.
Here we go. Firefight's happening here. We got Alliance again saying, hey, we're still around, so look out. Dropping down Silo. That's Team Gates over there. Only 2 alive, so 2v2 situation here between Alliance and Team Gates. Of course, NRG watching over that situation from the skull. We'll see if they try to get some shots in there as well. Meanwhile, Space Station Gaming just kind of covertly having a really great round. All 4 of them, I believe, are still up. And that's, so we only have 2 complete teams still around here. NRG is a team of 4 still up. Space Station Gaming, a team of 4 still up. So it might come to those 2. Alliance with 2 on the field. Team Gates with 2.
This is an important move
then
from
McCoy
Space
with
Station.
1.
They're going earlier than anybody else. They're going to be out in the open. Okay, they're going to draw fire, but there's only 1 member of TG, so that'll be an easy kill from him. They're putting back inside his little hut.
Yep.
But they've moved early. They're inside the circle. They've got ahead of the game here.
Yep.
If NRG don't play ball and don't adapt soon, they might get punished for this. This game, in my opinion, is theirs to win, but it's also theirs to lose quite easily if they don't move now.
I agree. The smoke is making everything technical and tricky. We see Alliance only 2 left, trying to deal with NRG here, but it's NRG that gets the first shots off, dropping down Reels and win there from Space Station Gaming. Meanwhile, Space Station Gaming, that's a kill onto Team Gates, so Team Gates might be out of it. 4 teams around. K-Mine dropping down, D-Master with the mini. And NRG, they got to make a move soon. I mean, they're kind of in the circle still, so they can stay behind that wall, I guess.
Look at the smoke Alliance. McCoy still snaking away.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned it earlier. We had a shot at McCoy right when all his teammates fell, and we're like, okay, you never know what can happen. 1 player, all it takes is a few good shots. Space Station, though, silence me as I say it. That's Vexel taking out the last member of Ghost. So 3 teams.
Pelting shot from Siggs. I didn't realize the wall was actually still in.
Okay, I was a little bit nervous there for NRG, but they were able to turn around and take down Alliance. So Ghost down. It looks like Alliance down. We are down to 2 teams here. and it is NRG and Space Station Gaming both jockeying around this circle. We got smokes everywhere. It's going to be a straight-up deathmatch at this point, 4 versus 3. Space Station Gaming losing 1, but there's some great shots there from D-Master, taking out 2 from NRG, and is that all of them? Yes, it is. Space Station Gaming makes it happen. NRG a little bit caught in an awkward spot, jumping over that wall from the school. Space Station in a great spot. You mentioned it as it happened. They made that first move to the middle there, able to get some great shots. Overall, the kills from NRG, insane. 13 frags overall for NRG, which is more than our first place team. But Space Station Gaming, our winner of round 1 here at the World Showdown of Esports.
Fantastic work there.
13 kills. That was really good, actually. 2 really high-scoring, high-frag winners.
Hello.
Hello.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Winner, chicken dinner, indeed. And it is Space Station Gaming who are taking that first. I don't know why none of us mentioned Space Station as a dark horse in the competition, because actually we've seen them on the few lands they've taken part in. We've actually seen them be quite impressive. It's just they don't normally frag out in the first game. But what did you think of their performance in that final very crowded circle, Poro?
It was a very crowded circle. One thing that you got to point out, though, SSG playing the southern side of that circle. They played we were talking a lot about that northern side, how everything kept centering on Razak, and all the teams kept trying to center, going to Razak, and then that hard shift south.
Yeah. The hard shift south really defined what happened here. We saw SSG coming in from the south, taking that position, but they wiped out Totality. They defended the whole area, kept 4 guys alive, so I really feel like deserved win right here.
And let's talk about Totality quickly, because actually those boys, I might have said about them in the pre-show that they don't tend to play for placement. They frag out as soon as they can, and unfortunately it counts against them. But actually, we saw them maybe take a different track, so to speak, as they long rotated, didn't they? Because the circle did not fall in their set favour.
I mean, that was one of the best rotations we saw from that. We saw the southern shift and instantly see with this decision, they heard a lot of fights going on in Rushock, and instead of going in Rushock trying to push from the north, they took cars coming in all the way from the south. Very good decision from them. It could have panned out better, but unfortunately SSG was already there and they had a prime position in the apartment area.
And Poro, talk to me about NRG, because they really had a great start to the PUBG Pan-Continental.
Yeah, NRG had a great rotation and taking over the school, but man, Space Station just dominated. Like once they had that position, once the circle kind of favored them, they did the correct rotation, going to the north, playing the side of the street, playing that ditch, and just kind of gatekeeping, putting themselves in a position where they could gatekeep NRG from getting into the circle.
Honestly, also, I mean, Space Station Gaming here, they kept out Totality, they eliminated Ghost, and they eliminated Vitality. They held the compound down. They were pushed multiple times, and then once they saw that circle pop, it popped out, and they ran to the circle and took an aggressive stance in the circle, smoked up, and basically gate kept NRG inside the school area, and also eliminated lines.
Well, they were able to keep focus as well, because they knew McCoy was there, but they didn't allow themselves to get distracted by him, instead focusing on the task at hand, which was NRG.
Well, that was certainly an action-packed round to start things off. But let's take a look at the highlight brought to you by Rockstar Energy.
I mean, here we saw they smoked it up and they knocked it. D-Master taking down Nerf. Great position, great flanks. And it was super great positioning from the Space Station Gaming there. Deserved win, 11 kills on top of that. Fantastic play.
Exactly, 11 kills. So I think that's 77 points, plus 200 for placement. So 277 points for those boys who've got themselves an early lead indeed. But with FaZe out first, I'm wondering when they're going to try and get their revenge. But I believe that we can talk about the standings as well right now, because Space Station Gaming obviously taking that first round with a convincing number of frags, the same for NRG.